Halloween was a few weeks ago. Maybe some of you were faced with this question of how much Halloween candy do I need to buy? Well, one way you can answer that is you can go online, use this calculator. It just takes 3 variables into consideration: the number of trick-or-treaters you expect to have, how decorated or into Halloween your neighborhood appears to be, and then the type of weather that you're going to have on Halloween night. It uses those variables to then generate a prediction of how much candy you're going to need to buy. You can see how you can take this type of formula or this type of algorithm and apply it to many different decision-making scenarios, right? So you could try and predict stock prices. Maybe you could try and make medical diagnoses. Now, if I gave you this prediction of how much candy you should need to buy, raise your hand if you think you would then go out and be like, you know what, I'll buy just a little bit more just to be safe, or maybe I'll buy just a little bit less to save a little bit of money. Great, so everyone that raised your hand, what you're exhibiting is called algorithm aversion, right? So this is a distrust of the algorithm. The problem with this distrust of the algorithm is that the research has shown us that across most decision-making tasks, these algorithms are actually outperforming humans, okay? So then the question is, well, if we have this algorithm aversion or this distrust, how do we get people to trust the algorithm more? Well, there's sort of 2 ways that we're looking at doing this. One of them is by giving you outcome control. So even very small amounts of outcome control have been shown to raise people's trust in the algorithm. So let's say I say, that gives you this prediction that you're going to need to buy 100 candies for Halloween. If I allow you to adjust that prediction even by a small amount, let's say plus or minus 2 candies, what we see is that people trust the algorithm much more strongly with that very small outcome control than if I just told you you had to rely on this prediction, okay? So what about input control? What I looked at in the first study of my pilot study in my prelim was, what if we allow people to adjust these factors, right? What if I allow people to choose which variables it selects, or maybe I allow people to choose the weight of each variable? Well, interesting, what we found in this pilot study was that if we allow people to adjust the weights of the variables, so maybe you think weather type should be the most important one, people did say that they felt they had more control of the algorithm than people who didn't, but we didn't see that this input control actually increased their trust or use of the algorithm, okay? So that leads us to an interesting question, which is what I want to get at in my dissertation, which is twofold. One, why is it that outcome control, even in small amounts, is so much stronger at raising trust in the algorithm than input control is? And 2, what actual psychological mechanism is underlying that, right? So it could be people want to feel ownership. Maybe it's that people are just motivated. They want to see how close their own guess can be. There's a lot of different avenues for this to go. If I do leave you with one thing, though, it is that if you're using one of these prediction devices, please, it's probably doing better than you. Just go with what it predicts. Thank you.